Hey guys, this is MJ with MJD Sports, coming back at you with yet another video on the flex offense. Today, going to throw three different entries at you that you can use on the flex offense. The last time we did loop, it was a little shorter video, and I thought, well, you know what, I'm going to combine two or three because we're starting to get into some that there's just really two or three steps to. So that's what this one's going to be. Today, we're going to talk about using your posts, and these are going to be very helpful depending on the situation. This first one that we're going to talk about is what we call 54 out. This is going to be if you are facing a team that likes to switch every screen. And what we do is we take the 5 and the 4, or the post and the power forward, or however you want to call it, or even how you want to number them. But if you have bigs on bigs in the flex offense with a team that likes to screen, these are going to be really good. Now, you're also working on the assumption that we're going to dribble to the elbow, we're going to be able to throw back to two, and get the offense started that way. You have to have the ability that if that doesn't work, to throw to the wing, screen down, pop up, and so on and so forth. You have to have that ability too. But if your kids understand that the flex offense, you may be the 5, that doesn't mean you're truly a post. In this case, like if you start 3 at the blocks, you might have a 5'10" guard being guarded by a 5'8" guard, or you might have a 6'1" guard being guarded by a 5'10" guard. And so you can still dribble entry and look at the post on this. So that's not a problem. Again, some of the biggest problem you run with 2 and 3 starting inside is 4 and 5 are used to posting up. Walk your man in and pop him up, and they know how to get open in there. Sometimes 2 or 3 don't, so it's good to practice this one. So anyways, back to this offense. Again, this is for if you've got a defense that likes to switch a bunch. So 1's going to dribble to the elbow, 2 is going to pop up, and then what's going to happen is you're going to throw back to 2. 5 is then going to rub off of 3. So now I'm just using 5 and 3 on this example as numbers. It could have been 2 and 4, doesn't matter. Well, let's say 5 is a 6'3" guy being guarded by a 6'2", 6'3" guy, and 3 is a 5'10" guard being guarded by a 5'10" guard, but you're talking about a defense that likes to switch. What ends up happening here is 5 rubs off of 3. Well, now you've got a smaller defender guarding a big post. If he's not open initially on that, what he can do is he can stop in the lane and post up right there, and you've got that dump. So that's where this becomes a good option to use on a team that is switching everything. And that's where 54 out. Again, I start my post out, I start my guards in. If you think about it, if you did it in reverse, let's say you had 23 out, so you've got 2 guards starting wide, your 4 and 5 starting in. If they were switching, you might end up with a 6'4" defender guarding a 5'10" guard. You're not getting anything out of that. So that's why we go with 54 out, 50, and then some of these other 54 things that we're going to do here. Okay, so 54 screen, and I know that doesn't really show up real well on there, but that so I'm not an IT guy, and I know it's cutting it off a little bit, but that is 54 screen. I probably should have stacked it instead of making it wide. That's all right. It's part of it. As long as you can hear me, it's 54 screen. Okay, so 54 screen. Now, we use this one all the time, and it really becomes useful when 1 is dribbling to the elbow and 4 is popping up, and they like to deny that. Deny, deny, deny. What this does is it makes your defense just kind of work and think a little bit more. And if they're not used to the flex, and most teams are not used to the flex, this is highly, highly effective. Like I said, I really like this one. So 54 screen is 1 dribbles to the elbow, 5 sets a screen for 4 who's going to come ball side. Now, that is an entry that you're going to be able to get, especially the first time you run this, maybe even the second time you run this. After that, you'd like to think that the other team is going to adjust a little bit and know how to cover that. What happens is 54 sets of screen, or I'm sorry, 5 sets of screen. I keep wanting to call them 54. 5 sets of screen, and his man has to help off. So 5 pops to the elbow. He's wide open. And again, we see that a bunch where 5 is open. Quite frankly, we've never really run this and 5 not be open. We'll get to it here in just a second. You know, what happens if they start covering that a little bit? So 5 pops to the elbow, 4 comes ball side. You reverse the ball to 5. Now look where you are. You're right back into the flex offense. We back screen, we screen down, 3 goes through. We're going to pop up with 4, pop out with 1. So you're, oh, I'm out of frames on that, but that's what you're going to get. It's just, again, if you notice, these entries are different ways to get you into the same offense. That's all it really is. Okay, so now we come to 54 cross. Again, not an IT guy. I'm kind of a moron like that. I'm old school, don't know jack crap. But 54 cross, same concept, same alignment, same everything on the 54 in or cross and screen. Obviously, it's not 54 out, but 1's going to dribble to the elbow. Now, this time, 5 starts to go set the screen, but he slips it and he breaks up to the elbow. This is one where 4 is probably not going to be open. So you got to know when you're running 54 cross, you know, your posts are probably not going to be open on that one. But what's going to happen is 5's man's going to start to leave early to cover 4. 4 man's going underneath there, but 5's going to pop right to this elbow wide open. And so now look where you're at. Reverse the ball to 5. 4 sets his back screen for 3. We're going to down screen, pop up, pop out, and you're once again right back into the offense. So like I said before, this is, you know, it's 5,000 different ways to get into one different offense. So that is today's, again, that was 3 different options that we covered: 54 cross, 54 screen. Well, and the first one was 54 out. But the 54 series on our flex offense, very, very effective. It's probably not one you want to run at the first possession, but it is one that if you run it, it's going to be really good, really effective. Hope you like this. If you did, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Appreciate you guys. Be coming back with a few more videos next time.